So in the dream, I dreamt about Prophet TB Joshua. So in the dream, he made my hair. The hair was so beautiful.
Testimony of Jesus. It's all about Jesus.
Madam, you're welcome to the Testimony of Jesus Intercessory Mission from Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria. Please, what is your name, and introduce the person standing beside you.
Good morning, church. My name is Idiaye Nekalinian, and the person standing beside me is my lovely sister.
Tell us your testimony.
I want to testify to the goodness of God upon my life. Actually, I got a scholarship to study PhD in French for 5 years at the United States of America. So after the scholarship, I booked my appointment for interview in Lagos because I reside in Lagos. So I informed my sister because I was anxious and anxiety due to the fact that people talk about how they were denied or rejected, even with the scholarship and funding. So my sister said, okay, that I should not worry. She gave me pastor's number. So I called him. So he said I should not worry, that he's seeing breakthrough, that I should go for the interview, that he's going to send a gift to me. So the next day, my sister called me and told me that he gave a prayer card. Okay, she sent the prayer card to me. So I went to pick it up at Yaba. So that day for the interview, even before the interview, I was praying. I put my prayer card under my passport. So I was praying.
Before you go further, you mean you got admission and scholarship to study French at PhD level?
Yes.
In USA?
Yes.
So, but before you want to apply for your visa, you are having different doubts and different stories of the rejection that you have had, and this caused you anxiety and worried that your case could also be the same. So you now spoke to your sister, am I right?
Yes.
And she decided to connect you with the ministry.
Yes.
So continue, please.
So before then, I put the prayer card in my passport. I was praying along with the prayer card. So my sister was telling me that I should pray that Jesus, give me more of you, take more of me. So I was praying along with it that God, give me more of your peace, give me more of your favor and grace. So before then, I was in a dream. I dreamt, because if I want to sleep, I either put it in my passport or fix it under my head, because this is the head I played then. So I put it under. So in the dream, I dreamt about Prophet TB Joshua. So in the dream, he made my hair. The hair was so beautiful. So there was one other lady that was beside me, because TB Joshua was seated down. He was reading a newspaper in the dream. So I was not telling the girl, come, let's Prophet TB Joshua also make your hair the way it made mine. So Prophet TB Joshua did not say anything. He just sat, he was just smiling. That one aside. So after that, I told my sister. My sister said, don't worry, just continue with the prayer card, that everything will work out. I said, okay. So the day of the interview, I couldn't sleep. So I was like, God, you gave me this, you made this application to be possible for me. You make this scholarship possible for me. I'm not going to lose it. As I'm going for this interview, let it be successful. So I was using this prayer card to pray. I was putting it like this all through my interview. So when I got to the interview, I was still scared, but I was still holding my prayer card. I was still praying, saying, God, give me more of you, take more of me. And so when I got to the interview, there was one particular, we have 4 windows, window 1, window 2, window 3, and window 4. So window 1, I was thinking maybe let me use my carnal mind to switch to the window 1, not knowing that window 1 was the one that was giving out blue paper. Blue paper, that is rejection. So the lady was like, did I ask you to go there? Go back to your line. I said, sorry, ma. So I went back to my line. So God's faithfulness, she now took me to the window 3. And that window 3 the woman was so nice. Immediately I got there, she was like, pass me your document, your passport and your I-20. I just, I can feel the peace. Because when I was going, I said, God, lead me with, let your peace go with me. Whatever confusion, whatever, issue, misunderstanding, go with me, and, let your peace perfect everything. So when I got there, after passing my document to her, the questions were not even up to, it was not even up to 30 seconds. The interview was not up to 30 seconds, and my visa was granted. So I said, I'm going to come and testify to the goodness of God and the mercy of God upon my life. And I believe that there's nothing God cannot do. So, because this prayer card really boosted my faith in God, due to the word my sister told me about the other lady, how the lady used her own. I was like, God, if you can do this for this woman, you can do also for me with this prayer card.
Put your hands together for Jesus Christ.
So sorry, I couldn't pray. I didn't.
Madam, you mean, we know you have a lot to say. You mean God used this prayer card as you got to your interview? It did not even take up to 30 seconds.
Just like, how did you get this funding? What year did you graduate from? What's your highest degree? And will you be coming back after the program? That was just it. There was no long story.
Put your hands together for Jesus Christ. Remember, God can use any medium. It is not the prayer card, but it is a medium that God is using to touch lives. Just like in the olden days, we saw God using the staff of Moses, we saw God using the shadow of Peter, and we saw handkerchief that have touched Apostle Paul. They were wrought miracles. So God can use any faculty, even through the hand of the man of God, the prayer card. So viewers all over the world, if you have this prayer card, distance is not a barrier to the move of God. Let us put our hands together once more. So sister, we are seeing some document with you. Can you tell us what it is? Okay, please tell us which documents are these.
This is I-20 that states the funding that I have, scholarship. And this is my visa. The photocopy of it, sorry. I printed it from my phone.
So put your hands together for Jesus Christ. Please let us listen to your sister. Sister, please tell us your name and tell us the person standing beside you.
Good morning, church. My name is Ozio Mobori. I want to give thanks. Actually, the person standing beside me is my kid sister. I want to thank God for what God has done for my family. I want to thank God for granting her the visa. When she told me about it, I told her, don't worry, just believe God, that God is going to do it for us. So I went to the pastor after church closed. I met the pastor and told him. So he said, okay, don't worry, he will give me a gift. That can I send it to my sister? Will she get it before that day? I said, yes, I will send it. So on Tuesday, he gave it to me on Sunday. On Tuesday, I took it to Waterlines and sent it to her. And I told her, just believe God, pray along with the prayer card. And I believe distance is not a barrier, that God will touch. God is going to make it possible. And then on the day of the interview, we are all, that tension was there, but we kept trusting God that God was going to do it. And that morning, it was 8:30. She just, few seconds, she just called and said they just gave her the visa without any stress. It was so easy, 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds, it just happened. They gave it.
With God, nothing is impossible. Let us put our hands together for Jesus Christ. We know you have a lot to say, and your sister has said it all. And we thank God for what God has done for you and your family. So, madam, we're made to understand that you got a scholarship and admission to study French at PhD level. And we know we have viewers from different parts of the continent watching us. So we'd like you, if you can explain in French language for the benefit of those who are watching, so that they can appreciate God with you.
Praise the Lord. Je m'appelle Neka Liliane et je suis ici pour louer le Dieu pour avoir donné moi le scolaire d'étudier le doctorat en français à l'université à l'États-Unis. Et après toute l'application, j'aimerais aller pour l'entretien à l'embassy de l'États-Unis au Lagos. Et j'ai dit à ma soeur, parce que j'ai peur d'aller à consulat. Et après ça, elle m'a encouragé que le Dieu avait fait toutes les choses. Il m'a donné le cas de prophète, apôtre Peter. Et aussi, j'ai cru que le Dieu va faire toutes les choses. Et avec le foi, parce que j'ai le foi en Dieu, et je crois que le Dieu va faire toutes les choses. Et le jour de cet entretien, je suis allée avec le cas à le consulat. Et après l'entretien, pendant l'entretien, il ne passe pas de 30 secondes d'entretien. Et après ça, mon visa a été donné moi. Je veux lui à Dieu pour cette grâce et aussi l'amour de Dieu pour avoir le visa pour étudier à l'État-Unis. Merci.
Put your hands together for Jesus Christ. So, madam, we thank God for what He has done for you. What is your advice for viewers all over the world and those sitting down here? We want you to advise us both in French and in English. Thank you.
My advice is that if you believe, just believe. Because according to when Jesus was talking to the woman in the Bible, he said, just do you believe? Once you believe, there is nothing God cannot do. When she gave me this card, I felt, I don't know, I don't want to sound so, but I felt something when I was praying with this card. You know, I felt something inside. So I believed in it. And when she told me what happened to the woman, that her daughter was sick, and I was like, God, you gave me this. You know, as little as this thing is, it's all about your faith in God. So I believed in it, and it's worked for me. So my advice is for people is that no matter the material, God can use anything, any means, you know, whatever the material that God has given to you. When you believe in it, don't just doubt and say, oh, this thing, you know, when you say this thing, but when you say with this thing, if this thing can do this thing for this person, definitely it can do for me too. So there is nothing God cannot do. So that's my advice.
Put your hands together for Jesus Christ. Yes, belief is our connection. Faith is the heavenly currency to purchase the healing, the deliverance, and everything you need. In this arena of liberty, healing is like breathing. But you need faith to connect, to receive that thing you are here for today. So people of God, we appreciate God for what He has done in our life and in the life of our family. Please, we want you to also encourage us all over the world in French.
Mon conseil à tout le monde, c'est à croire le Dieu de Jésus-Christ. Il n'y a pas de choses que le Dieu ne peut pas faire. Alors que vous croyez le puissant de Dieu, Jésus-Christ, il va faire toutes les choses. C'est le foi. C'est ça la même chose qui est nécessaire pour donner le Dieu de toutes les choses. Merci.
Put your hands together for Jesus Christ. Merci Jésus. With what God has done for you, what is your promise to God?
No, before I got this visa, because you know, after I had my master's, 5 years after 5 years, and I lecture French, and after then, you know, there was no promotion in my place of work. Everywhere was just things were not really moving on. And when I got this scholarship, I told God, I said, if you can give me this, that I will serve you. So when the first one came up, I was still believing, because that first one that came, there was deficit in the sense that I have to pay about $1,000+. But when this one, I was still believing on this, because this one does not have any deficit. That's about $69,115 for 1 year, and they're going to cover it for 5 years for me. So I was like, God, if you can do this for me. So I was you know, when we are in the midst of something, that's when God tests our faith. So I was like, God, if you can do this for me, hey, I'm going to serve you all the days of my life, because it's not easy. So when it came, I said, I must testify to the goodness of God, because it's only God that can do it. It's not as if maybe I'm better than people that God rejected or God denied, but God just decides to favor me. So that is my
So we know the joy is much. We encourage you to continue serving God in truth and in spirit and to live your life for His glory. We thank God for what He has done for your life. Better is not good enough. The best is yet to come. Thank you.